In this video, we're going to discuss CRA models for multiplying a whole number by a fraction. Okay, so this is going to be a different case than the multiplying a fraction by a whole number. So this is we're multiplying a whole number by a fraction again because we're starting with this group size of 3, and we want to multiply this 3 by a fraction. Okay, so we have a group size of 3. Right? 2/3 times 3 means you have a group size of 3, and we want to take 2/3 of that group because we only have 2/3 of a group. We don't have one full group or multiple groups. So we just want a fraction of this group of 3. Okay, so we're going to show two different examples. This first one is where it's called partitioning the entire group. So partition just means to break apart or subdivide. But we're going to partition this entire group of 3, and then we'll look at an example where we can't partition the entire group. We need to partition each object in the group. Okay. I'm just going to show area models for this one for the concrete and representational, but we can use length models too if we want. So again, 2/3 times 3, we're starting with this group size of 3. So I want 2/3 of this entire group. So my first move is to create thirds. Okay, so I want to create thirds from this group. So again, if we're creating thirds, what we're doing is dividing by 3, or creating, you can think of it in this case as creating 3 equal groups. So just rather than thinking of these as one entire group, right now we're viewing this as one entire group. Actually, I'll just draw kind of a rectangle around this. All right, so right now we're viewing this as one entire group of 3. So if we wanted to create thirds, we just need to create 3 equal groups. We're kind of thinking of this then as each of these is their own item. Okay, so this is 1/3 of this entire group, this is 1/3 of the entire group, and this is 1/3 of the entire group. Okay. So now I've created thirds, so that's the denominator of my fraction that I'm multiplying by. But now my numerator, I want 2 of those thirds. Right, so if this is 1/3 of the whole group, this is 1/3 of the whole group, this is 1/3 of the whole group. I want just 2 of these. So we can, draw a star in here, or we can kind of think of removing this one. Okay, so that group size would still have 3 objects in there, but we have 2 of the 3/3 that we need to create that whole group. So 2/3 of that whole group then is this whole and this whole. So it will just be 2. Okay. And then kind of similarly, I'm just going to use those area models. You can draw any shape in here. But again, for the representational, right, we're starting with this group of 3. So I want 2/3 of this group. Okay, so again, since we are able to create thirds from this group of 3, right, we're just kind of thinking of these individually. And then for the representational model, right, we can do something like shading 2 of the thirds, and we can just leave that one there instead of moving it or erasing it. So we can show that we have 2/3 of that full group of 3 is shaded, which means that we have 2 wholes that are shaded. Okay, and then again, at this point, we're not using the standard algorithm. You could, but just as we're introducing these to students, we're not necessarily introducing that right away. So this is going to just be our abstract model, the 2/3 times 3 equals 2. All right, so that was the example where we're partitioning the entire group. Next, we'll look at an example where we have to partition each object in the group. So we're still going to start with 3. Again, we're just going to do the area model here. Okay, so we have a quantity of 3, that's our group size, that second multiplier. We want 1/4 of this group of 3. So we don't have a full group of 3, we have 1/4 of that group of 3. So from this we need to create fourths. So again, if we're looking at partitioning the entire group, there's no way we can create fourths. We can't, as is, we can't keep these as these solid objects and create 4 equal groups. Okay, so rather than partitioning this entire group, we need to partition each individual object in the group. Okay, so this circle we need to partition into fourths. So this first step, we're just going to create our fourths. Okay, that's that numerator of that, or that denominator of that group size, or the number of groups multiplier. Okay, so we're just going to replace each one object. So each whole, we're going to create that, or substitute that for 4/4. Okay. So now we have fourths shown in here, right? A fourth of this one, fourths for this one, fourths for this one. So now for each of these three objects, we want to take 1/4, or we only want 1/4 of each of these. Okay. So again, for the concrete model, I'm just going to take these ones away that we don't want, right? So this is 1/4 of just this one object. Okay, so if I want 1/4 of this entire group of three, I need to do the same thing throughout the entire model. Okay, so now I have 1/4 of this piece here, and then 1/4 of this one here as well. Okay, so since now I'm only showing 1/4 of each of the objects in the entire set, right? Now I'm showing 1/4 of the entire group because I've taken 1/4 of each object in the group. Okay, so then if we're looking at what do we actually have shown in the model, we have those three yellow tiles, right? So we have three pieces. All right, so that's our numerator, since that's the number of pieces that we have. And then our denominator is the size of each piece. Each of these yellow pieces is 1/4 of the whole, right? 1/4 of one whole of this red tile. Okay, so each of those is a fourth. So now if I am taking 1/4 of that entire group of three, what I will have is 3/4. Okay, so that's our concrete model. Representational model. We'll just do circles again. So again, this is my group of three. I want 1/4 of this entire group. So since I'm not able to partition the entire group, I'll have to partition each object into fourths. And then if I want 1/4 of the entire group, one way I can do that is by taking 1/4 of each object in the group. So then again, for the representational, we can just shade these in. We don't have to take things away or erase them. So I've shaded in 1/4 of this whole, 1/4 of this whole, 1/4 of this whole. So for all three holes, I've shaded 1/4. So then what am I showing? I have three parts that are shaded. Again, that's the numerator. And the size of the name of each part is 1/4. So that's my denominator. Okay. And then again, the abstract model at this stage will just be that 1/3 times 3 equals 3/4.